Like more or less the spot treatment for the back, like applying pressure directly on isolated spots. Then I like to do pushing, which will serve to kind of lengthen the muscle. Okay, so you can do it with, you can do it with any of the tools you want to, but by this stage I usually just opt for going using something really penetrative and then just sliding along. So I'm gonna use my elbow again. Okay. Again, you want to start off with your arm pretty wide open. Actually, I'm not gonna close my arm any further because you don't need to be. If you make your arm really penetrative this way, you're gonna have a hard time sliding for one thing. Yeah. So I'm just gonna use my elbow this way.
Back right now?
Yeah, mid to lower back. And just go very slowly. Sometimes you can feel like certain parts will sort of resist, or it feels hard. So on those areas, you can just kind of wait for things to soften. Of course, you have to pay attention to how the patient is doing. How are you doing? Okay. Okay. So.
She's laughing.
Yeah. But you just gradually advance. I'm gonna actually go lighten up and go move a little bit faster. But this is like pushing. If you wanted to, you could also push like with your knuckles this way. This feels comfortable, and it's pretty. You can put a fair amount of pressure down while you're pushing. So you can just progress along this way. I wouldn't do, I wouldn't do pushing with the thumb, just because when you're pushing, it adds like this kind of this force against your thumb joint this way. As it is, when you press with the thumb, there's already a lot of pressure on the thumb joint, so that's the only reason I don't use the thumb for that kind of pushing. You could also do something with the fingers. Although the fingers, I don't know, they're also vulnerable. I don't think as much as the thumb, but or you can use the fist. Yeah. But
What side of the fist are you using?
I'm using like the top of the. Yeah, the knuckles. So this would be like using the ulnar side, just like this, yeah. How does that feel? I don't know, for some reason, just biomechanically, whatever, I feel more comfortable this way. I think a lot because the wrist is straight, and but your patient might feel like something is more effective in another thing. Okay. So that's working mainly on this UV channel, like on the paraspinals here. Another area to focus on is, they call this the quadratus lumborum. Okay, this is these muscles that kind of go diagonally from the bottom of the rib cage here. They just you have fibers going diagonally out and attaching to the top of the hip here. And these are basically like stabilizers for the back. They ensure that your back stays relatively balanced. But people have a lot of problems with them. So these muscles, again, they're kind of flat, but they spread out this way. It doesn't make sense to try to work on them from the top. Instead, it's good to work on them from the side and apply pressure inward towards the spine. Okay, so what you can do is try to feel the bottom of the rib cage around here, and then usually if you palpate around, you'll feel the edge of this muscle here. The fiber is going diagonally downward here. So on this side, I feel it right here, and then I'm just going to use my fingers to press inward this way.
Isn't that where your kidney is?
It's close to the kidney, but as long as you don't press straight in, I think you'll be pretty okay.
So if we press straight, it's not good.
Yeah, not over here because yeah, it's not good to. I mean, if you're working on the paraspinals, it's okay, but if you're working more lateral, where the quadratus lumborum is, and putting pressure straight down, yeah, that.
So what's the safe way?
Okay,
From the
so
side?
instead of pressing down this
Right,
way,
right.
I'm pressing from the side and kind of staying almost
Oh,
flat.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And just working on the quadratus lumborum.
Yeah, it's like you're hugging it instead of jabbing it.
Yeah.
You know, like if your kidney's here, instead of jabbing it, you're hugging it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then if your hands are large enough, this is optional. You can you can try to grab the whole like lumbar region this way and just do grasping with the lumbar region. You can also grasp and lift.
Yeah, that's fun to do.
Just work my way this way. You can actually start the grasp and lift from the side of the body if you want to, instead of just focusing more on the back. Yeah? Usually it's easier to do across the body. So if I wanted to do this side, I would probably go across and do the same thing like this. Yeah. I'm sorry. Grasp. Okay, after I've done all of that, you know, a lot of that is more like the yin or the penetrative stuff. So after that, I'm going to start going yang again. So